Shabbat Shalom, family. Shabbat Shalom. May the Most High be praised. May the Most High be pleased. May the Most High be honored and glorified forever and forever throughout all eternity. Giving all honor and praise unto the Most High King of all creation, asking that He will guide my mind, my spirit, my body, my language, and my speech as I approach unto you, His people. May the Most High be praised forever and forever. Shabbat Shalom, family. Today is an exciting day. Today is another day that the Most High has allowed us to breathe, to be able to have the articulation of our thoughts and our speech, to give Him His praise, His glory, His honor, to be good unto each other, to help to serve each other in this existence of life. The Most High is King of all things, and He is truly worthy to be praised. What's today's date? I think today's date is something like the 23rd or something. Let me see. Let me check. I think it's the 23rd of January, isn't it? Yes, today is the 23rd of January. Wonderful. You know, I remember years ago, as a teenager, wasn't all that long ago, you know, about 15 years ago. Man, a little bit more than 15 years ago, about 18 years ago. Let me see, that's 20 years ago. 21 and 3/4 years ago when I was a teenager. I was in high school. And I remember not thinking that I would make it to live a life after high school. I was thinking, because of the different things and the activities that I was into, I was thinking that I wouldn't survive to make it out of high school. Thought I would pass away, get killed, be murdered, die. Because I lived that lifestyle as a youth, as a child, and coming up in America, this is what most of our people experience. We don't expect to really live too long. And it's a sad thing. When your mind state is developed to a degree where you think more about death than you think about life, it's a sad thing. A lot of that is because of our parenting, our teachings that we receive from the adults in our lives, you know. A lot of the adults in our lives don't take us and teach us properly and guide us properly, and we are left to the understandings that the world gives us or the streets give us. And the understanding of the streets where I lived when I was young was about partying, sexing, robbing, stealing, drugging. That's what the world offered. The world that we lived in didn't really teach you too much about investments. Barely taught you about college. It barely taught you about things to prepare for your future life as an adult and as a parent. It barely taught you these things. So I learned from the streets, and I didn't expect to make it out of high school. I didn't expect to live too much longer than that. But I did. And I'm thankful to the Creator that He's allowed me to. He allowed me to live many years past high school. He allowed me to come into an understanding of life where I can praise and worship Him, and He developed my life to the place where it is today, and I'm grateful and I am thankful for all that the Most High has done for me. And I say this, family, because I want you all to think about what it is that your child or your children or some children that may be close to you may be experiencing in their development, in their life. What they think the future holds for them. Have you really sat down and had these conversations with your children about their future? And have you talked to them about the different activities that's going on in their lives and what they expect out of life? You know, a lot of parents, a lot of us adults, we don't have these type of conversations with our children, but we're super quick to correct them when they do something that we are disapproving of, but we don't really take the time to teach them our mind state and the things that they can be doing, the activities they can be involved in that pleases us. But yet, the moment that we hear some bad news or see some bad activity, we act surprised, overwhelmed, and we begin to lash out by punishing the children. But in fact, a lot of that is because of us not communicating with the children, having proper conversation with the children, and trying to guide the children in a proper way of life so that they can develop to be greater than we ever were. Not enough of us take that approach when dealing with our seed. You know, many of us, we leave our children to the streets like I was when I was young. I had a mother, a father, but I was pretty much left to the streets. And when the child is really young and the parent really don't want to be bothered, they'll take that child and put him in front of a television, or get him an iPad and put him down the iPad and send him off to the side so the adult can do whatever it is that the adult wants to do. Not need to do, want to do. And that's not parenting. And that type of raising a child will bring about the destructive mind of a child later in life, because the child will feel unloved. You don't give the child the proper attention that it needs to nurture, that child is not going to develop into a healthy human being, a healthy adult. You know, it's like a plant. If you take a plant and you don't give it its proper attention and water it sometimes when it needs to be watered, talk to it sometimes when it needs to be talked to, put it in the proper sunlight, move it around where the sunlight moves at certain places and certain times of the year. If you don't give it the proper attention that it requires, it's not going to develop to be its fullest and its best that it can possibly be. It may live quite a while, but it's going to live with wimps and limbs and everything else being destroyed on it, messed up. But if you pay special attention to that plant and you move it when the sun is in a certain area of the house during a certain time of the year, or you make sure you read the instructions and get the proper guidance so that you can water that plant when that plant requires to be watered, you'll get the best results, and that plant will yield forth its best energy to you. So is it with serving the Creator, with your relationship with the Almighty. He's our Heavenly Father, our Heavenly Parent. He gives unto us, but a lot of times we refuse to receive. A lot of times with the messages that comes from the Creator, we don't want to hear it, or we don't want to accept it, or it's so much denial, or caught up in so much filth and dirt that we refuse to accept the correction and change our behavior. Thereby the Most High amps it up a little bit more and bring a little bit more pressure on you, and sometimes you refuse to just give over to the Creator. He'll show you all the evidence you need to see. He'll take you all the places where you need to go, but you refuse to walk with this King. You refuse to give Him the best of you. You refuse to change from your idolatrous behavior or your selfish behavior or your childish behavior and give unto the Most High the best of you. There are a lot of us who do these things. But yet the Most High doesn't give up on us. He keeps trying until the day He takes us out of here. And then when He takes us out of here because of our disobedience and our disrespect, not just because of the natural course of life. I'm not speaking in that order. I'm speaking about the things that we know that we do that is damned to our soul because of our actions. But yet we do these things before the Creator and pretend as if it doesn't exist, if it doesn't hurt or harm Him. And then when it takes time that He brings upon us the retribution that we deserve because of our actions, others say, oh, that's a shame. That brother or that sister was so young, so full of life, so much energy. They had so much going on for themselves. But yet everything that we were doing in the dark because the world didn't see the true us, who we really were. We pretended and we put on an image or a facade for the world to see. We get on Facebook, we talk real good. You know, we get on the phone, we speak highly of other people. We put on the front. But in our hearts, we really despise other people. In our hearts, in our minds, and in our actions throughout our house, when we're not in social media, our family get to see who we really are, and they don't like us. And we don't like us. But yet, we do nothing to change it. the Most High reaches out to try to get our attention, to bring us to the fullness that we could possibly be, just like that plant. When that plant was being watered, you give that plant what it needs so it can grow to its full strength, just like that child, when that child was being given its full strength to be the best that it could possibly be. So are we given the opportunity to be the very best we can be, just by the simple fact of knowing that we are the children of the Most High King. Just by knowing that alone is showing that the Most High is giving us the opportunity to be the very best that we can be. It's up to us what we do with that opportunity. Give me 1 second, please. I would applaud you all, to take advantage of that opportunity that the Most High has blessed you with. Take advantage of it, full advantage of it, and do the very best that you can possibly do to be the very best that you can possibly be. Eradicate sin from your life completely to the best of your ability, which means you walk in the integrity that you have as a man, as a woman, before the Creator. When you speak words, you speak the truth as you really understand those things to be in your mind and in your lifestyle and how you're living. Don't speak for show. Speak for reality. Speak for who you are and how you get down, and move in the spirit that you understand to be the best spirit to bring blessings from the Creator on high unto yourself in your life. All right. Well, do we have any questions today before we begin our lesson today? Today's lesson is going to be on Isaiah 53. This is part 2. Isaiah 53, part 2. We're going to get it in a minute. So do we have any questions today pertaining to anything that we've covered thus far? If you have any questions, just type them in the room. Matter of fact, you might want to go out and share the room, invite other brothers and sisters, and see who you can get in here with you, so that we could help spread this message onto the earth, so that the people will learn. I'm not going to be on here too long either, family. I'm just going to be on here long enough to get through this process. A lot of people don't know we on. A lot of people we don't normally be on at this time, but we're going to start being on at 12 o'clock every Shabbat to the best of our ability, as long as the Most High allows it to be. Okay? So let's move, family. Let's get started. Isaiah 53. Remember, 2 weeks ago, we delved into Isaiah 53, where we covered the first couple chapters, the first couple verses in Isaiah 53. Now, we all know, well, most of us know what the Christians teach about Isaiah 53. But many of us don't know what the Most High has revealed to the earth about Isaiah 53. So what we're going to attempt here is we're going to attempt to delve into the things that the Most High has revealed to the earth about Isaiah 53. Okay? Let's go to Isaiah chapter 53, please. And last week we started at 52, just to bring us up to 53, to give us a little bit more of an understanding, a little bit more of ideal of what was being spoken about, to bring more validity to what it is that Prince is saying today. We're going to start at verse 1. It says, "For who has believed our report, and to whom is the arm of the Creator revealed?" Well, first, what was the report? What was it, and who could understand it once it was being brought forward? Well, what was the report? The report was about the future of the nation of Israel. The future of the nation of Israel. We all understand what it is to be a Hebrew Israelite in today's time. And very few of us, well, let me say it this way. There are a lot of us who understand the history of our predecessors, our ancestors, what they went through, so that we can be who we are today. So that we can receive and worship and serve the Creator in a manner that we do today. Well, these people paid a price. They passed away from this life and moved on to the next existence of life. Do you think for a chance that those individuals might be consciously aware of what we're going through right now? Do you think for a chance that they might be able to see what it is that we're doing right now? Do you think they might know what's taking place in our lives right now as we're struggling to return to the Most High King? I submit to you that they do. For the Most High said many, many years ago, as he gave the commandments to the children of Israel, our forefathers, he said, I speak not these words just with you who are here today, but with those who are to come. Speaking of us being in their loins, we were in their loins when the Most High spoke those commands. Therefore, he spoke it to us as well. The Most High is all three, both past, present, and future. And when he speaks with a dominant force and power that surpasses the past, the present, and the future. Who do you know that can travel that powerful and that mighty and be in all realms and all those existences at the same time? None but the Creator. There is nothing that can be hidden from him. There is nothing that he doesn't know, see, and understand. It is you, it is us, who are mere but trapped in this flesh and blood. Forces of energy trapped in this flesh and blood that cannot ascertain the past, the present, and the future simultaneously at one time with total accuracy. Yeah, you might be able to think about what took place yesterday. You might be able to see what's taking place right now, and you might be able to predict a little bit about the future. The Most High does it at the same time with perfect accuracy. That's why they got that tetragrammaton, Yo-Hey, Wah-Hey, past, present, and future. He shall be, he is, and he was. Okay? You have to understand a lot of things when you break down the tetragrammaton, they say. I call it tetragrammaton. So when you break that tetragrammaton down, that's actually what it's speaking about. The Most High in his fullness. The power that he is. So when he spoke to our forefathers and gave them those commands, he said that he would be speaking not just to them, but to us, those of us who are here today. And for a fact, we have begun to arise, to awaken to his calling. We have begun to return back to the Most High with his commands that he said for us to do. So let's indulge a little bit into this. Our forefathers who lived was very disobedient to the Most High. There was times when we were good in the Most High's sight, but we spent more time being disobedient to the Creator than we were being obedient to the Creator. They passed away, they moved on, and here we are today, their seed, their siblings, those who have come after them. We struggled a little bit more, we suffered a lot, we went through a lot, but through all their suffering, what they've been through, the Most High's mercy is shining on us, and we are given the opportunity to live. Man, do you know how hard it is to have a seed prolonged in the earth? I don't know if you understand that. What I mean by that is this. I know a brother who the other day, he got killed, murdered. He passed away. No, he didn't get murdered. This brother passed away. He had a heart attack, 48 years old. Fell down some steps, and they tried to revive him, and they couldn't revive him, and he was gone. Well, this man is a good friend of mine. He had a child, but his child was a daughter. What happened is that man can never allow his seed to be prolonged in the earth by the way of him, his spirit, or a portion of his spirit returning. Because his daughter doesn't have the ability to do that. He has to have a man-child in order for that to happen. This is why Israelite men always desire to have men-children. Not just to help work out in the field, but also because a man carries your name. When a woman is married off, a woman takes on the last name of her husband. That shows a sign of possession. that means that same thing in the spirit realm. She takes on her husband's attributes. Even in the Tanakh, the Most High says when those two become, when that man and woman become one, when a man and a woman become husband and wife, they become one substance. She takes on his portion. That's exactly what happens. So when a man lies down and a man produces a female offspring, it's very important that he strive to produce a male offspring if he is to live within the earth. The Most High made a law, and the command was that if a man has a wife and he dies without a son, that man's brother is to go into that man's wife to produce an offspring, and that offspring should be called by the man's name. You see, you're not going to call a female by the man's name. That lets you know that the Most High is speaking of that offspring being a male. That offspring is to be called by that man's name. It's very important that men have children in the earth. So my brother who passed away, he didn't have but a daughter. So his name was just cut off out of the earth throughout all eternity because he didn't produce a male seed. That's why the Most High tells us to be fruitful and multiply, so that you will have descendants in this earth throughout all time. That is a struggle because a lot of our forefathers was murdered, never had the opportunity to bring forth seed in the earth. Thereby their spirit is at a standstill, it's at a halt. It can only go but so far. But we have been so fortunate because the evidence that we are here today shows forward that our ancestors lived before us. And somebody made it through. Somebody produced what they produced for us to get where we are. And here we are today. B'nai Yisrael. Our forefathers paid the price for us to get where we are. How do we repay that? Isaiah is speaking about that. Isaiah is full of riddles that many don't understand. But we're going to try to explain it in a way in which they can. We're going to try to reveal it to you in a manner that you will possibly have the understanding. The question was, who has believed our report? The words of the Bibles are the reports of the prophets, and there are many which do not accept them. Also, to whom is the arm of the Creator revealed? To who has the Most High allowed to see his truth as spoken by the words of his prophets? Everyone will not understand his teaching, and too many it will be a mystery for life. What Prince is trying to explain to you is that our forefathers paid the price. They died. They were beat down, tortured, so that we can live. They took on a lot of the burdens and the oppressions that we had at that particular time, so that now at this opportunity, we got a chance for life. We have the opportunity to live and to be servants of the Most High. Am I not saying something right? Was our forefathers not hung on trees and raped and murdered and ran for their lives? Was that not so? Did that not happen? Was they not conquered several times in history? Was they not molested and raped and beaten? Were they not? They took on the sins, a lot of the negativity or the evil or the corruption that we have done. We won't receive that punishment in that manner to the degree that our forefathers have. We haven't experienced that. We haven't experienced that to that level or that degree. Many of us would not even survive slavery in the condition and mindset that we have today. Many of us wouldn't survive. So let me read on as the scriptures reveal some of these mysteries unto us today. Verse 2, Isaiah 53, verse 2, it says, "For he shall grow up before him as a tender plant." Who is the he that is speaking about? That will grow before the Most High's eyes. That he has baffled many for centuries. Most have not accepted that the Christian concept is false. Has nothing to do with the he that the Most High is speaking about. That this scripture speaks about the children of Israel, about our forefathers. And as a root, it says, "For he shall grow up before him as a tender plant, and as a root out of dry ground." Let's think about this for a minute. He should grow up before the Most High as a tender plant. A plant. It develops, it grows. But he's going to start off as a root. Shoresh. Root. Shoresh. The beginning. And it's going to grow out of dry ground, which means that that plant had to be super strong to grow out of a dry soil. Now, this dry ground is indicative of, or is similar to, very much like knowledge. The lack of knowledge is the dry soil. Now, that individual to develop from a root unto a vine or a plant or a tree, to come through and break through that ground without the proper nourishment, because think about it, family, we haven't received the proper nourishment dealing with these religions that are on the earth today. We haven't received the proper nourishment. They teach us to worship idols. They don't teach us the truth about who we are as a people. Neither do they teach us the truth about the Creator and how to worship and serve Him. So we are really, as the Most High said, at the earth, us as a people, we won't have the opportunity to worship the Creator as we should, because truth will be scarce in the earth in these days, and it'll be scarce. So what we're receiving is these people are teaching us, but they're teaching us not they're not watering us as we need to be watered. They're not teaching us the truth of the Most High as they need to teach us the truth of the Most High. They give us an ideal of spirituality, but they don't teach us the truth of what the scriptures say and how to worship the Creator of all creation. So therefore, we're coming forward out of a soil that has been not properly nourished. So only the strong of all those plants are going to rise up to be able to grow and extract the nutrients and extract the waters and the things that's needed so that it can grow up through the dry soil. And so shall it be with us. You should continuously understand that you are special. You have made it through. Your ancestors were strong. And now here you are showing forth their strength, because now you're breaking through the soilless earth, the knowledge-less earth. You're breaking through the soils of dryness, of knowledge. You're coming through and you're breaking out like a plant. Now you're growing and your leaves are spreading. Your wings, your branches are spreading, and you're growing taller and taller, stronger and stronger. You came into the knowledge of a Hebrew Israelite. You broke through that soil. You began to learn who you was as a child of the Most High. And now you begin to stand strong. And now you want to teach others how to worship the Most High. This is what it's talking about. You should be as a tender plant. Most tender plants die when they don't get the proper nourishment. But some kind of way the Most High had mercy and you made it through. I don't know if you understand where I'm coming from. What I'm saying is that with all those religions out there that was piled up on you, all those people giving you their ideals of what you should do and how you should serve the Creator and how you should live your life, you rejected it all. And you came into the oneness of the Most High. That's you growing as that tender plant, becoming strong out of a dry ground. You're a root out of a dry ground. You're growing up. You're getting stronger in this truth. You're learning more and more of how to conduct yourself out in public and in private. You're learning the proper etiquette of a servant of the Most High. You're standing up strong as a man. You're learning how to take care of your family. You're learning how to be a servant of the Most High. You're learning how to allow people to respect you because of your actions, your thoughts, and your deeds, as opposed to acting like everybody else. Now you walk in your integrity and you're more concerned with how people see you. As a woman, you're prohibiting people from touching your body, from exposing yourself to them, from taking advantage of you, from entering into you and not being your husband. You're learning more how to love your children, take care of your children, and provide for your children, how to walk with a man. You're learning more of these things. It is a struggle out here because this earth is wicked, and they don't teach us the proper etiquettes of a servant of the Creator. If you don't get it from places like this, it's very few people that will give it to you. Because most people are wrapped up with the actions and the teachings of the earth, as opposed to exposing you how to be a special vessel to the Most High King. How to give the Creator the best of you. Many people are not even concerned about giving the Creator anything of their time. They're more concerned with how to get money, have sex, and take advantage of people and overcome people, as opposed to how to be a righteous individual and serve this King. So the word shoresh, meaning root, I want to travel to, and that's what we are. And you'll find that in Isaiah 53:2. He shall grow up before him as a tender plant, as a root out of dry ground. That servant shall grow before the Most High. Isaiah 5:7. Just to talk a little bit more. For the word of the creators of hosts is the house of Yisrael. For the vineyard of the Most High of hosts is the house of Yisrael. And of Judah, the men of Judah, his tender plant. Here we have the Most High naming Israel as his vineyard. A vine has roots, which grows in the ground. Focus on what the prophet says, root out of a dry ground. The dry ground is referencing the knowledge where there is no knowledge. It is equivalent to dry ground. The worldly knowledge is no knowledge at all. Knowledge is hearing and doing the Most High's right, the Most High's truth, the Most High's will in this earth. Jeremiah 3:5. And I will give you pastors according to my mind, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. The Most High says, I will give you servants after my mind. Those servants, those people, those teachers who have the mind of the Most High will speak unto the Most High's people. Now, here is something that you have to understand. Those people whose spirit has been awakened by the Most High will gravitate toward the words of the Most High's servant. This is how you will know who speaks the words of the Most High or not. You'll know from their lifestyle, their actions, their deeds, their thoughts, and how they conduct themselves. It's something about their spirit will resonate to your spirit and clinch onto you and allow you to know that this person, this individual, is speaking the truth of the Most High, and that you should listen and obey and walk and learn from this individual until your time has expired. Doesn't mean you have to make that person your teacher, your spiritual leader for life. It means until you have gotten all that you can get out of that individual, then you move on to the next one. It's in levels and stages. This is how we are to serve the Creator. Numbers 24:16. He have said, which have heard the words of Elohim, and knew the knowledge of the Most High, which saw the visions of the Most High, falling in a trance, being having his eyes opened. When he got the knowledge of the Most High, he fell in the vision of the Most High in a trance with his eyes open. He was awakened to the knowledge of the Almighty Creator. Isaiah 44:3. For I will pour water upon him that is thirsty, and floods upon the dry ground. I will pour my spirit upon thy seed, and my blessings upon thy offspring. Now that ties directly to Isaiah 53. It ties directly with Isaiah 53. Isaiah 53 says, for he shall grow up before him as a tender plant, as a root out of dry ground. Remember the word shurish, which means root. Isaiah 44 says, for I will pour water upon him that is thirsty. Any one of us who seeks, because we are root coming out of dry ground, we are extremely thirsty. Any one of us who are thirsty after the Most High's truth, the Most High says he will pour water upon us. He will put floods upon the dry ground. So where there was no knowledge, there will be knowledge. The Creator says later that knowledge runs to and fro throughout the earth. He's going to put floods upon that dry ground and make it easier for those plants to pop through and begin to grow and begin to blossom. And I will pour my spirit upon thy seed. Once we come through that ground and we get that knowledge, the Most High will place his spirit upon us. That spirit will awaken us. They like to say words like quicken us. It will awaken us and bring us in a direction of servitude toward this king. And I will put my spirit upon thy seed and my blessings upon your offspring. That's talking about us, family. That's the Most High letting our forefathers know that he got us. That's us. That's the Most High letting us know that he got our children after us. As long as we are that thirsty one after his truth. As long as we continue to walk in the ways of righteousness to give the Most High the best of us. These are the promises of the Most High that he will do. He says, as a root out of dry ground. He has, next verse, he has no form nor comeliness. Comeliness, the Hebrew word is hadar. He has no form or comeliness. Now, when I used to think about the word comeliness, I used to think about beauty, good-looking dude, nice form, stature, you know, pretty like husky, like me. See all these muscles and stuff, you know. That's what I used to think about when I used to think about comeliness. But I've learned that comeliness is not just the beauty, the physical beauty. You know, you can speak a comeliness, the hadar, you can speak the hadar through your actions, through the way you carry yourself, through your integrity. You can speak with a hadar. The hadar is more like honor. It's like glory. It's like a majesty. It's the presence of the Most High being present within an individual. That's what a hadar is. So now the Most High is saying that this individual, he has no form nor comeliness, meaning that he had not the presence of the Most High within him that others could actually see and behold. If you think about it, we've always been a spiritual people. Now this is a sad reality I'm about to expose. The colored people, the black people, the Hebrew Israelite people, we have always been a spiritual people. Always. So that spirit of the Most High has been hidden deep inside of us, deep and deep and deep inside of us, that dry ground. We've always been a spiritual people, but we've always searched out the knowledge of the Most High at the tongue of others, never at the tongue of our own people. And when we went to the tongue of our own people got it from everybody else. Do you understand what I'm saying, Israel? It's very rare that we really got to sit down at the foot of our people who had communication with the Creator, who really dedicated and got pure wisdom and pure understanding from the Creator through these scriptures. It's very rare. Most people today will sit back and tell you what the Jewish man said, what the Jewish man wrote, and how the Jewish man revealed it. But very few Israelites, Hebrew Israelites, those who are filled with the Spirit of the Most High deep down inside of them, us, very few of them have allowed the Most High Spirit to be increased with them that they can properly break down these scriptures. And this is why we got so much confusion running forward in the earth today. This is why we got so much confusion with so many people practicing idolatry, conducting idolatrous behavior. We want to worship somebody and associate them with the Creator and say that this individual is the Creator, sit right next to the Creator, and you can't get to the Creator except you go through that individual. The Most High never said that. The Most High didn't establish order like that. Why are we doing this? It's not what the Most High has set up. So why are we doing it? Why are we allowing it to happen to us? Especially in today's time. Shabbat Shalom, Maki. Shabbat Shalom. Hadar. What is Hadar? Hadar means comeliness in the English language. And comeliness means honor, majesty. It means the presence of the Most High. Let's look at Psalms 29 and 4. 29 and 4 says, the voice of the Creator is powerful. The voice of the Creator is full of Hadar. The voice of the Creator is full of majesty. The voice of the Creator is full of Hadar. That word Hadar has nothing to do with a physical beauty. Because you know, previously they teach you that as you look Comeliness meant something physical about an individual. Comeliness means that spiritual essence of that individual. There will be something about that individual that would attract you to that individual. That prophet, that servant of the Most High, he has no form nor comeliness. It's not talking about a body. It's talking about a spiritual presence. And we, physical Israel, in this day and time, we have no form nor comeliness in reckoning of the nations. Nobody respects us who we are as a people. Nobody can feel our spiritual essence and say, I want to be like the children of Israel. None. But you get a Catholic, you got Catholicism all over the earth. You get a Christian, you got Christianity. That's the default religion all over the earth. Everywhere you go, you find Christians all over the place. But how often do you go travel the earth and find somebody that is a Hebrew Israelite like you today, serving and worshiping the Most High, El Shaddai, El Elyon, and none other? How often do you find a nation of people trying to be like you, Israel? So you have no form, no comeliness, no majesty, no glory, no honor. The Spirit of the Most High, people are not recognizing that within you. So you don't exist spiritually in this earth as a reckoning force. But that day is going to change. That time is going to come. But we're not there yet, family. We're not there yet, but we need to maintain and get to that place. As many were astonished at thee, his besides, let's go to Isaiah 52 and 14. Matter of fact, I want to go to Isaiah 52. Some things there I want to read about in the book of Isaiah. Let's see if we can get there real quick. Isaiah 52. Isaiah 52. Okay. We're in the book of Isaiah, the 52nd chapter. We're going to start at verse, let me see, we want to start at 11. Let's start at verse 10. It says, the Creator has made bare his holy arm in the eyes of all the nations, and all the end of the earth shall see the salvation of our Elohim. It doesn't say the salvation of JC. It doesn't say the salvation of Buddha. It doesn't say the salvation of anybody but the Almighty. The nation, the earth shall see the salvation of the great King, the Creator of all the earth. It says, depart ye, go ye out from thence. Touch not any unclean thing. Go ye out from the midst of her, be ye clean. Ye that bear the vessels of the Creator. He's talking about you, Israel. Remember I said that emptiness, that voidness of that spirit, the presence of the Most High won't be in you? It's going to be in you, but it's going to be buried so deep that you don't have the opportunity to bring it forth. Well, now that opportunity is changing. Now you're going to have the opportunity to shine as bright as the morning star. You're going to be able to bring forth the truth of the Most High into the earth. But you yourself, you got to get on the right plateau. You got to shine. You got to touch not any holy thing, unholy thing. You got to put a separation between you and unrighteousness. You got to stand up and take charge, family. You got to stick together as one people. You got to honor and worship the Creator as a family, as a unit, and not as an individual. This is how we're going to cause the nation to see the arm of the Creator. Do you know why they use the word arm? Because the arm is one of the strongest parts of the body. It's used to do almost everything. Anything you need, your arm is bringing you to it or bringing it to you. Think about it. Your legs are taking you to individuals or places. But your arm, when you get there, it brings things to you. It brings. So we are the arm of the Most High, bringing individuals and winning souls for our King, for our Creator. We're reaching out into the lives, into the existence of others, and bringing them back unto the oneness of the Most High King. This is what it's talking about, family. We are the arms of the Most High. It says, don't touch any unclean thing. Ye shall bear the vessels of the Creator. For ye shall go not out in haste, neither shall ye go by flight. For the Creator will go before you, and the Elohim of Yisrael shall be your reward. So that means that we're going to be filled with that spirit again, family. That spirit of holiness and righteousness. We're going to be filled with that spirit again. It says, behold, my servant shall prosper. Who's his servant? Behold, now I'm going to read this because if you don't read it, it's going to be a little tricky. And somebody's going to say, see, I told you, Prince. I told you, Prince. But let's let the Most High speak. He says, behold, my servant shall prosper. He shall be exalted and lifted up and shall be very high. I say to you that this servant that the Most High is talking about is us, the children of Israel. But they're going to say to you that this servant is the same servant out of Isaiah 53 and it's some other person, some deity, somebody that they want to worship. I say to you that Isaiah 53 is talking about this same servant that Isaiah 52:15 is talking about, and that Isaiah 42 is going to be talking about when we get there. That same servant is you. It's talking about our forefathers who died and took on the griefs and bared the burden and all that stuff so that we can live, so that we can do all these things that we got to do today in this life and time. For he shall be exalted and lifted up and shall be very high, according to as many were appalled at thee, so marred as his visage, unlike that of a man, and his form unlike that of the sons of men. So shall he startle many nations. Kings shall shut their mouths because of him. For that which had not been told, they shall see, and that which they have not heard, shall they perceive. The Most High, who is that servant that the Most High is speaking of? That's going to represent him in this earth, in this day and time. Let's turn to Isaiah 42. 42:1. Isaiah 42 verse 1. It says, behold my servant who I uphold, mine elect, in whom my soul delighteth. He says, I put my spirit upon him. He shall make right to go forth to the nations. He shall cry, nor lift up, nor cause his voice to be heard in the streets. A bruised reed shall he not break, and the dimly burnt shall he not quench. Who is he talking about? Who is the Most High speaking of? Isaiah 46. No, Isaiah 44. Who the Most High speaking of? Who is that servant that's going to achieve all those great things in the future to come? And that future, I submit to you, is now, family. Let's see who that servant is. Isaiah 44. It says, yet now hear, O Jacob. Who's Jacob? Yet now hear, O Jacob, my servant. And Israel, whom I have chosen, his servant. The house of Israel, Yaakov. We are the servants of the Most High that the Most High is speaking of. So when it says he shall grow up before him as a tender plant, as a root out of dry ground, it's talking about none other than the nation of Israel. Us, the descendants of the house of Israel. B'nai Israel. Us, the children of the Most High. He says that we are his servants. And it's a job that we have to do. He says, Israel, I have chosen. Thus saith the Creator that made thee and formed thee from the womb, who will help thee. Fear not, O Jacob, my servant, and thou Yeshurun, whom I have chosen. The Most High is letting us know that he has chosen us to do a particular task, a particular job in the earth in this day and time. The decision is to us, where are we going to stand at in all this? He says, I want to read a little bit more because this is interesting. He says, for I will pour water upon the thirsty land. Isn't that what we was just talking about? The dry, this man, listen, the Most High is revealing to us what it is that he's talking about. I'll go back and I'll show you what it is that I'm talking about. For there are so many who refuse to accept the words of the Most High as the Most High is revealing it. Isaiah 53 verse 1. It says, who has believed our report, and to whom is the arm of the Creator revealed? For he shall go before him as a tender plant, and as a root out of dry ground. He has no form nor comeliness. And when we see him, there is no beauty that we should desire him. He has no form nor comeliness. He should be a root out of dry ground. Who is this servant that has not the Spirit of the Most High? He says, I formed thee from the womb and will help thee. Isaiah 44. Fear not, O Jacob, my servant. He's talking he's letting you know who that servant is. Fear not, Jacob, my servant, for thou Yeshurun. Yeshurun is a poetic name for Jerusalem, for Israel. Yeshurun. Fear not, Yeshurun, whom I have chosen, for I will pour water upon the thirsty land, that dry ground, those of us who seek the knowledge of the Most High, and streams upon the dry ground. He says, I will pour my spirit upon thy seed. He's telling us, he's telling our forefathers that he's going to put his spirit upon us, his seed, his children. I will pour my spirit upon thy seed, and my blessings upon thy offspring, and they shall spring up among the grass. Now, there's going to be others that look like us. We're going to spring up in the midst of them, but we're not going to be like them. As willows by the watercourses. And watch this part right here. And one shall say, I am the Creator's. And another one of them is going to say, shall call himself by the name of Yaakov. And another shall surname himself with his hand unto the Creator. One shall subscribe unto the Creator and shall surname himself by the name of Yisrael. What does that mean? When it says that, let me read it again so you'll understand, because it's talking about us, but I want to break it down piece by piece for you. One shall say, I am the Creator's. That is us coming back into the knowledge of who we are. Oh, wait a minute. I'm a servant of the Creator. We're going to leave behind all that idolatry and the idolatrous teachings that have been given to us, and we're going to gravitate toward the oneness of the Most High. And another shall call himself by the name of Jacob. Now, Jacob, Yaakov, that's the first thing we came by when we came here in the United States, when we came into the knowledge that we were true. We all accepted that we were Judah, Jacob. Let's say Yaakov. Let's leave Judah out the equation. We all came into the realization that we were Yisrael, or the descendants of Jacob. And then, once we came into the realization that we were the descendants of Jacob, this is what we did. We shall subscribe with the hands unto the Creator. We shall write unto the Most High, and we shall surname ourselves by the name of Yisrael. What is a surname? What is a surname? A surname is a last name. Remember earlier when I spoke to you and I said that a woman, this is deep, man. This thing is deep. Remember when I said to you that a woman cannot bring forth a man's seed, a man's spirit, a man's essence back into the earth, except she has a male child? Remember I said that to you? When a woman takes hold of a man, those two become one, and she takes on his last name, his surname, the woman, and it shows that she is his possession. Just like we take on the last name of Yisrael to show that we are a possession of Israel. And if you haven't gotten yours done, you need to go get it done. Okay? You need to go and begin to take on and get your name changed and correct that stuff on the government record so you can reflect that you belong to the Most High. You are a child of Israel. But let's take this walk now. That woman takes on the name of she takes on the name of her husband, which shows she belongs to him. She are his possession. She takes on his name, just as we take on the name of the Most High. And what we have to do as a people is we have to live in that name by honor and might. Like the Most High, we should subscribe with our hand to the Most High and then surname himself by the name of Israel. These things are actually taking place in the earth today. This is another way how you know that we are the children of the Most High. This is another way that you know that we are this servant that the Most High is speaking about in Isaiah, the 53rd chapter. Okay? All right. And when we see him, there is no beauty that we should desire him. There is nothing about the Hebrews of today that anyone will want to trade places with us. Is there? There is no beauty in us. There is nothing about us. We don't come together. We don't work together. You know, we have no KSF, no money, no significant amount of money. We have nothing that anybody would want to be like us. We don't even have our spirituality intact. We all over the place. We Hindus, we Buddhists, we Christians, we Islamic. We all over the place in every different walk of life except the walk of life that the Most High has prescribed for us to have. So who would want to be with us? Who would want to take our place? Who would want to switch places with the true Hebrew Israelites of today? Not one of them. A lot of that is because their vision is off and all they see is physical things. But if they really knew our future, if they really knew what the Most High had in store for us in the very few years to come, very few years to come. So what I say to you, family, is hold off. Don't give up. Don't grow weary and don't grow weak. Stay strong. Stay strong, for the Most High is doing some wonderful things in the earth. He's shaking them up right now just so that we can come through that dry ground, so that we can break through and rise and be that tender plant, that vineyard. He's shaking them up. You know, many of Israelites, we prayed for the Most High to destroy this nation, for the destruction of the world as we know it today. We pray for it to happen. And now that it's happening, a lot of us are petrified. A lot of us are afraid. A lot of us don't know what way to turn. We don't know what to do. This is what we asked for. Our ancestors asked for it. But now that it's happening, and it's happening in our lifetime, and we can actually see the evidence of it taking place, there are many that's afraid. They're petrified. And what I submit to you today, family, is that the Most High said He will be our salvation. Put your trust in that. Put your trust in the Most High King. Turn from all your evil ways and turn yourself back in the direction of the Most High. May He be pleased forever and forever. Thank you for attending. Thank you for coming in. Now go out and share the video. Study it, research it, watch it over and over, and then Creator willing, maybe next week we'll go for the next couple verses and explain that a little bit more into detail. But Isaiah 53 is talking about you, the children of the Most High. May the Most High be praised forever and forever. Toda Rabbah.